Hello, beautiful soul family. How are you guys doing? We missed all of you, and this is our first video after a bit of a gap because our last one was about the quantum healing.
Well, while you were getting your upgrades, I was still making videos.
Yes. So she held the fort down while I was like I was lying on my back for the last couple of days, and man,
over a week now.
Yeah, since May 5th to May 12th to be very exact.
That's why you're shiny today.
Yeah.
You're glowy today.
I'm back with all my light codes, and I'm barely on my feet today, and I'm feeling so motivated to connect with all of you. I'm getting out of my comfort zone to share all of our latest updates with you guys. And we have some of the most burning questions that you guys asked us, and we're going to cover those here for you. And we connected with our higher guides, as always, our Galactic Guides, to shed their light and info on these topics. And everybody here will want to know about the topics that are going to be discussed today, because these are the burning issues, and things are getting very intense on planet Earth right now. And when we said that 2021 will be our most intense year so far, I mean, as if 2020 was not enough, this is what we were talking about. Now that time of, we're ramping up into those energies that are just going to catapult us into massive shifts, massive change, but that also means massive chaos. So
and chaos also means massive transformation.
So our main intention today was to shed light, because light is information, and information is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So when we are empowered with knowledge, we know it becomes easier for us to make the right or the wrong decision, because we have more power, we have more information to choose from. So why don't you go into the topics?
Sure. Okay, so we're going to go into a few questions, random questions that we're going to talk about. First of all, the light codes from 5-5 were amazingly, powerfully, intensely, crazily, transformatively. You can keep going on with the adjectives.
Our socks off,
absolutely. So we'll cover a few. He's going to cover a few downloads on that, as well as what's been happening with his light body. I've been processing a bit differently. We'll go through that. Second thing we're going to talk about is the phenomenon. Many of you may have heard of it. Some of you may not have heard of it. It's the phenomenon of, I don't want to use the word because the word might be, so the disposing of. You guys have heard of that phenomenon of shed, ding. You know what I mean? So the shed, we're just going to call it the disposing of. So we're going to talk about that. Is it safe to be, a lot of you asked us this question on our Telegram. If you guys aren't already part of our Telegram, I highly recommend you join.
Yeah, trust me, you guys are missing out if you're not already
we love
part
Telegram.
of Telegram.
It's super easy to use, and from what we know, it's not censored. So we've been sharing a lot on it.
And we started this new thing called Pillow Talk. Like literally we're like talking to each other while just waking up or going for a nap, and we're sharing our Pillow Talk live with you guys.
Yeah, so like we get a lot of guidance in the pillow. When we're together, that's when we get a lot of our guidance.
We started a new hashtag Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk, exactly. So do join. We'll put our channel here for you guys to see, or for you guys to join. We'll also put the link in the description below. So we're going to talk about that. Is it safe to be, many of you, so we asked a question on our Telegram saying, let us know what you want us to talk about. And a lot of you said, is it safe for me to be around my husband and my children who've had the jab? So this is a very big topic. It can be approached from so many angles. So we want to share some of our perspectives with you. And what do you do if you live with someone who's had it? Like, what do you do? We're going to talk about that. And why is this, we're just going to touch a little bit on why is this even being allowed? We had the same question last year when all of this hit. Why is this even being allowed? So I know we just want to share our perspectives on that. You want to talk about the economic crash, right? Being engineered. Yeah. So we're going to touch on the economic crash that's being engineered.
I always like to keep a pulse on the economy. So that's been an interest of mine for a long time. I think I was being prepared for this time.
Yes. Yeah. And the crypto world and all of that. We'll touch on that. We'll talk on the passports. So the passports. I'm just speaking in thing. You know what I mean? The passports to be able to...
The jab connected with the passport.
Yes, exactly. Good job. Perfect. We're going to talk about, just touch base on UFO sightings and is this disclosure, what's going on. And the last one is the GFL, the Galactic Federation of Light, going to assist humanity. So those are the things that, broadly, those are the things we're going to cover in this video. Do you want to start off with the May 5-5?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure many of us here experienced the 555 portal, which was May 5th, 2021. And 2021 adds up in numerology to the number 5 as well. So the 555 portal is a master number. It's a master number of change, and it's also associated with the Metatronic codes. So a lot of the more advanced light workers are getting their Merkaba light body activated. I was receiving toroidal field upgrades. I went to bed last night, and as soon as I got into bed, I told EldoRa, I'm just seeing this huge white toroidal field.
No, you didn't even tell me.
Did I?
Psychically, we both connected with each other, and you were supposed to come near me.
Yeah.
And as you came near me, I heard certain words.
Did I tell you first, or did
I
you
told
hear?
you first.
Oh, so she
Yeah.
told me first, and this happens a lot to us.
I said, I'm hearing the word toroidal field. And
Yeah,
he's like,
and I said,
oh my God, he
I
was
was
being
like
shown
floored
that.
when she said that, because within that moment there was a toroidal field rising from the base of my feet up my root chakra and through my body and expanding my Merkaba. And for those of you who don't know what the Merkaba is, just look it up. Merkaba is your light body. It is a tetrahedron with an inverted tetrahedron. So it's the 6-pointed Star of David. And both of these tetrahedrons are like surrounding us. And when they're spinning at the speed of light in a perfected light body, in a fully healed person, you are a very powerful being of light. Your manifestation powers go through the roof.
Teleportation.
Yeah, your telepathic abilities are going through the roof. And what happened is that our Merkabas, they got damaged in the times of Atlantis. So there was a huge nuclear explosion that devastated and sank the continent of Atlantis. And this nuclear devastation also had some sort of a negative effect and damaged our light bodies. This is one of the reasons why we became two-strand individuals and dropped down in our consciousness, two-strand DNAs. So we used to be very powerful, fully activated light beings, and now what's happening with this ascension is that all those codes of Atlantis are being reactivated on planet Earth. There are 24 nodes and nulls on planet Earth, and 12 of these nodes are the masculine aspect, and 12 of these nulls are the feminine aspect. And these nodes and nulls are similar to chakras or energy vortices of planet Earth. And the Atlantean crystals were buried deep underneath Earth, beneath the surface, to be preserved. So all the Atlantean knowledge could be preserved for this time of ascension. And now all of those 12 Atlantean crystals have been activated. I believe the 12th one is going to be activated very soon. And we're gaining back our knowledge. And how many Atlantean crystals are activated, my guides are also reminding me, depends on your level of consciousness. So if you're raising your frequency a lot, if you're constantly working on your ascension, then you're going to be able to tap into more of the Atlantean knowledge. And all of this knowledge is now coming back to planet Earth. This past week, we had a frequency amplitude of 72 hertz in the Schumann resonance. The baseline for 5D Earth is 40 hertz. It goes up all the way to 100 hertz. So the fifth dimensional existence is vibrating between 40 hertz and 100 hertz. Just to give you an idea of how intense the galactic energies are getting, we just received a wave of 72 hertz. You won't even see this in the charts because the Schumann charts are just Earth-based machines. So the highest they ever record is amplitude of 40. But we went into a spike that even these machines can record. So that's very exciting news. What this is doing for us is activating our light bodies, like I said, our toroidal fields, our Merkaba light bodies, our telepathic abilities are going online. But it's also very common if you are experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, if you're going through pains and aches, like you went through so much pain this whole last month. I've been going through so many ascension symptoms where I couldn't sleep properly, and
And this feeling of uneasiness, as if high voltage is running through your system.
These are also electrical upgrades that were sent to us. So they feel like a dim electrical current maybe running through your body, and you're just feeling jittery. You're just I was a lot more clumsy this last week, and I was annoying the heck out of EldoRa. And so yeah, you're going to be jittery. You're going to feel jarred and ungrounded. Okay, fine, I'm sorry.
Run into things.
Yeah.
Anyway, you did really good. But the good news is, when you're in this situation, when you're going through all these crazy energies, remind yourself that this is not happening to you, it's happening for you, meaning you are getting upgrades. Like, look at him right now. He has gone through a very intense period. So have I, but differently. He went through an intense period of all these energies.
But I'm already seeing the effects of this come online, because I'm feeling a much clearer channel. I
can see it in your energy field.
And also I'm feeling these Metatronic frequencies channeled through me.
He's been channeling Metatron all morning.
Yeah, it's
like all afternoon.
In this video.
We may even do a live Metatronic channeling. Let's do it. Let's see if Metatron has something to say to the collective. We'll do that.
Metatron was one of our favorite angels, and he was one of the first angels to come visit us after our awakening, and he came through for us in a time of
oh my God.
It was like a life and death situation, which I mentioned in my walk-in video, so watch that video. But Archangel Metatron has given myself and EldoRa some of the biggest spiritual gifts we've ever received of light body, and his love and care as a father was so endearing that every time we were in his presence, it brought tears to our eyes.
And in fact, Metatron is the one who gave us the template of divine unconditional love. It's very fierce, but it is the most loving, caring love we've ever
He also gave us the
experienced.
highest codes of humility, because every time we used to do a ceremony with Archangel Metatron, he used to tell us, end the ceremony by bowing your
surrendering your ego.
Put in Islam, how they put their forehead on the floor. He said, bow your forehead on the floor as a sign of humility to all of the divine source beings who are here in your presence.
And you know why he said that, guys? It was so beautiful. So when you start channeling very big entities like Metatron or Jesus or when you start holding such huge energies in you, it is very easy for humans, and we know many humans who start thinking, oh, we are Christ, or we are Jesus, or we are the Mary Magdalene, or we are the big person on earth. It's very easy, and they're not kidding themselves. The way I look at it, they just don't have the perspective to see that they are carrying. What they're seeing is this consciousness, this Christ consciousness. So it's very interesting, and it's very easy for ego to completely take over when you see the power that you have, especially when beings like Metatron come in with you. And I remember from the very beginning of our spiritual journey, we were so particular about keeping our ego in check. We'd always say to each other, especially in the mushroom ceremonies, our powers would just be so powerful and so huge, especially when you used to embody Metatron, that sometimes what we started noticing was in the second or the third or the fourth ceremony, word got around and people started coming in thinking we're going to put on a show. And as soon as we realized that, I remember this was the third ceremony we did, and word had got around in Toronto that things started happening. Do you remember there was this one time people were like, instead of being in their ceremony, they were constantly looking at us to see, oh my God, what's going to happen, this big being. It was magical, but the minute we saw that was what was happening, we instantly said no more of this, because ego can easily creep in. And I remember
there was one ceremony itself where Archangel Metatron literally came just to tell me that he will not be embodying me in the ceremony, because people had too much of an expectation that there's some kind of a show happening. So they simply back off when there's any level of ego.
Yes. So what we would do is after every ceremony, even when we do our own sacred ceremonies, just the two of us, and we embody high beings and we see beautiful visions and we go up to the higher dimensions.
She's embodied Isis, and it's a very
powerful, but it's also a very it feels like it's humiliating, it's powerful,
not
but
humiliating. Humbling,
yeah. I'm like, humiliating? No, humbling, overwhelming. And what I'm trying to say is it's also a very powerful frequency to carry. It can leave you very ungrounded.
Yeah.
It can leave you feeling, whoa, my goodness, like I
Yeah.
can't take this, it's too much. So it's very important. That's a totally different topic, but keeping ego in check. So we went completely off, but wanted to share that when we talk about Metatron, we get very, very excited because Metatron is the person who gave me the fatherly love when we went through my initial healing, when the two of us just met. And there was one night when Metatron embodied, like this was one of the first times Metatron merged with him. It was about 5 hours long, and Metatron healed my light body, literally healed my light body. We'll talk about that in another video, but there was a time
We should
when
make a video of all of these healings that we've gone through in our journey. It's so magical.
You want to just talk about it here and we'll see? Just tell them about that time when Metatron, this was when I went through my light body healing. He actually was giving Siman step-by-step instructions on what to do next. And at one point he said to Siman, like I had gone back in time during the ceremony. This was a long ceremony. It was one of the most intense ceremonies I've ever had. I was going back into the womb. Like Metatron put me back in a womb, and he basically saw me through. So he was the shaman holding space and Metatron was channeling through him. And basically the two of them saw me through. They gave me so much fatherly love. And I remember my father, and every step of the way, they healed me and they extracted the trauma every step of the way. And I had some intense trauma. And there was one time I remember Metatron said to him, okay, now leave her alone, leave the room. And I freaked. I'm like, no, don't leave the room. Don't leave me in this state. And he said, no, you need to be alone because the female goddesses, the female entities want to greet you. And I had a huge block with the feminine. I had a huge wound with the feminine. I only trusted the masculine. And I said, no, I don't want the women. I want Joshua. I want Jesus. I want Metatron. I want Michael. And so I had my own healing. And when he left, I remember all the, like Athena, Isis, all my sisters, I feel like they came in the room.
I remember that.
And I didn't feel
could see
scared.
all of that from the other room.
And he was in the other room completely aware of what was going on. So I was in the room by myself for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then he got the message saying, okay, go back. And when he came back, Metatron said to him, take her a gift. Take her anything. Take her a gift. And he had just bought this Walmart, this blanket, this soft, cushy, fluffy blanket from Walmart. And I remember he came into the room and he was talking to me because he was in ceremony. He was the shaman. And he said, how's my princess feeling? Because Metatron was channeling fatherly love towards me. And he says, I got my little princess a gift. And Metatron and him gifted me this blanket. And I was like, remember that moment?
And she was so touched. She was like almost in tears.
I was crying. I was like, I got a blankie. So my little girl, my inner child, was gifted this blankie, this soft blanket. And in that age, she didn't get any gifts. Like I never received any gifts from my parents. My parents were very against gifts. And we also had a rule in our house, we're not allowed to accept gifts from uncles or aunts. Somehow gifts was really frowned upon. That's why initially when you used to buy me gifts, I used to like fight with him saying, I had such a big trigger. He'd buy me a cute little birthday gift and I'm like, why did you buy me this? And I don't want a birthday gift. And he's like, whoa.
She had a problem with accepting gifts, and that's how triggers work.
Yes, we'll make a video.
Make a different video on that.
We're so ready to make the triggers video, but we should make that next. But gosh, seriously. We have so many topics coming in. Okay, so now let's talk about the disposing of. Did you finish the May 5-5?
Yeah, 5-5 is done basically.
Okay, guys. Let's move into the shedding off. I'm going to give my 2 cents, okay?
Sure.
It's as simple as this. We've been seeing a lot of evidence that this is true. For those of you who don't know, let me just sum it up for you real quick. I'm no doctor, but what we're seeing, hearing, reading all over the world, it's being censored in a major way. But what we're seeing is that those who have been jabbed are emitting a certain frequency is it frequential?
It's not just a frequency, right? It's physical.
It's physical.
It's a protein that's emitting out.
Okay. Oh, right. It's the protein. Yeah. So I actually shared something on my Telegram channel. If you guys scroll up, you can see it. I saw a panel. We shared a panel of 5 doctors talking about this, and they're all saying that there's so many women right now who are just experiencing massive excessive discharge, like bleeding, a lot of matter coming out. And doctors are saying, they're talking about, what is that protein they called it?
So basically the science behind it is that your DNA, which exists inside the nucleus of your cell, is the programming instruction. And RNA is what tells that DNA what to do. So RNA is what forms your proteins, it forms all your different cells. So I'm no quantum scientist, I'm no scientist on this, I'm not an expert on this topic, but this is my general understanding, so forgive any mistakes. So this jab contains mRNA strands, which is basically like a programming instructions telling our cells to produce this kind of protein. So what these RNA strands in the jab have been designed to do is create a spike protein that can attach itself to various parts of the body and start sucking out the energy from the neighboring cells. So these spike proteins are obviously not, they're actually deteriorating to our cells, so they're not a healthy thing to have in your body. And what happens is that anyone who takes the jab suddenly becomes a factory for these proteins. So the RNA goes in their body and makes these spike proteins multiply by the times of billions, and you start emitting these spike proteins through your pores and your pheromones and into the air. So basically these panel of experts are very deep into this topic, and they've been researching this for a while, and they say that this is something that can spread, and this is something to be very seriously aware of. And people are reporting that they have seen symptoms of their menstrual cycles going crazy.
And we've spoken to people who are actually confirming it. And also there was a group on Facebook where hundreds, if not thousands of people were talking about this. We've seen this with our physical eyes. We saw a whole bunch of people saying, oh my God, we've been bleeding like crazy. We've been this, we've been that. They've been all there, some people said they've had 3 periods in 1 month, or 3 periods in a 1 month cycle. So a lot of people are reporting a lot of things, and that whole Facebook group got censored. It got removed. So there's a lot of quite a censorship happening on this topic. So this is very early in the process. We're just hearing about it, and we ourselves are just equipping ourselves with this knowledge. So we're sharing that with you guys. So there's also lots of strands of fear and disinformation being injected into the mix. So we don't want people to get any information out of fear that's not even based on reality. We connected with our guides about this. And while our guides will only give us information that we are meant to hear, we haven't received a yes or no kind of answer. Usually guidance doesn't come in yes or no. Anyone who says, oh, we have the answer, guidance comes in it's a very multi-dimensional download, and it's
also on a need-to-know basis. We're not told everything on every topic.
No.
There's certain topics, information that's withheld for our own good.
We can't say, how much will Bitcoin be 3 months from now? Guides will say, ha ha ha, nice try.
We kind of got that kind of guidance.
So what our guides are saying is there's so many things going on. And now, we don't know if our guides are not giving us more information, because there's so much, there's dark, there's light, there's a lot of agendas going on right now. Remember when COVID first hit, that scam first hit last year, there were so many different things going on. The sun's actually going to start. It's fine. For now, we're good.
If you want, I can put the curtain there.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what they're saying is, first of all, light workers are protected. We got clear guidance that light workers are protected. Now, everything is not as black and white. Yes, light workers are protected, but there's also a few questions that kept showing up in both Siman's and my psychic vision. And this was our guides talking, the Galactics, our guides talking to us through this. What they're saying is everything is frequency. So yes, it's a free will universe. Yes, Earth is a free will universe. And whether you choose evil or non-evil, these are all just terms by humans, that one is evil and one is good or benevolent, right? So what they're saying is that in a free will universe, what is stopping one person from taking it, and what's making one person take it, run up and line up and take it, and what's making the other person not take it? So what we were shown psychically is that it's a lack of information for some. But for a lot of people, and this, I'm going to give you an example to really seal this in. We went for breakfast a few days ago, and this is the example our guides wanted us to share. We went for breakfast a few days ago. We met this amazing Montreal lady, very fit, she's 50, but looks very young, successful. She has 2 businesses here, 2 restaurants here. We had a great conversation. And in a real world, apart from all of this, like 5 years ago or even 1-2 years ago, we could be good friends. But within 2 minutes right now, when you start talking to people, you see where they're vibrating. Are they vibrating fear or are they vibrating surrender? And right now we've passed that point of making friendships with people who simply are not at the frequency that we're at. It's not high-low, there's no judgment. So right now it's a very clear line. Now this lady was literally saying to us, so she said, oh, I got the first vaccine. And we said to her, we started talking to her, we said, you know, you should look into it, blah, blah, blah. We're not too polarized about it. We don't start preaching. We said, just look into it. And she says, well, my 18-year-old daughter in Toronto will not take it. She's in university and she will not take it. And she says, I know what you guys mean. She literally said to us, I know what you guys mean. And she says, my period has gone crazy. I've got 3 periods in 1 month since I've taken it. But she's like, I'm so happy my other children got it. It's just this 18-year-old that didn't get it. Now, this is the level of, what's the word for it? Dissonance?
Separation.
No, there's a word for it. Cognitive.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, cognitive dissonance. That's what they wanted to say. That humans have this level of cognitive dissonance when they can see it's blaring right at you.
Yeah.
You're 50 years old, okay? You're healthy, you're fit. This woman is healthy, she's fit, she eats super healthy food. She eats superfoods, like everything she sells in her store, it's like coconut flour pancakes and it's all healthy stuff. That's why we go there. Everything there is so healthy. She is healthy, you can see it. Her husband was not so much on her frequency. He was there sitting with a mask the whole time, even while he was just on his phone. So what we saw in this frequency, this is like literally being shown to me again. Yeah. It's a good example, I guess. What we saw in this frequency is that she believes one thing, because she literally said, I totally understand what you guys are saying because I'm aware of that. I think she's letting her husband overpower her beliefs, and she's numbed herself so much that she's having cognitive dissonance and not seeing things for what they are. So, and this is how you know whether you're doing that or not. She's literally seeing that her periods have tripled. And she has full plans of getting the 2nd and the 3rd jab. She told us this to our faces. Why? Because she's worried about getting some flu and being bedridden for 10 days.
5 to 10 days.
Like, think about it.
Not even bedridden.
It makes no sense. Why would you get something? And if she said, oh, I got 1, I'm not getting any more, that's a different case. She literally said, oh my God, this is terrible. I have had 3 periods and they're so heavy and they're da-da-da-da-da. But I'm going to take the other 2, and I'm so glad my children are, and I'm so unhappy that my Toronto daughter isn't.
Yeah.
So this is what is happening to many of you. You're living with people that may be very, very biased and influenced, have a very strong influence on this matter. Right now, our guides are not giving us a clear black and white answer. They're simply saying humanity knows what they need to do. Light workers know what they need to do. So the first thing they said was light workers are protected.
It is black and white to the extent that we do not recommend the jab at any cost.
Exactly. That much is black and white. And the second thing they also said was that not all strains are a bioweapon. Not all strains are infected. Not all strains. This is all stuff that we're hearing through our psychic vision guys. It could mean 10 different things. That's what we do. We translate messages. So you guys use your own psychic powers to see if you're in that situation, connect with your guidance. Connect with, everybody has a different situation. Every single one of you is in a different situation. If you're in a terrible marriage, because this is a very spiritual perspective we're giving you. We're not giving you a 4D perspective. 4D perspective is yes, no, it's very polarized. What our guides are saying is that's why they're using this woman's example. Some of you may be in terrible relationships. You may be in horrible, horrible, horrible relationships. Then the spiritual question is, why are you living with someone who is so frequentially different from you that you constantly have to convince them that they're doing something that's not healthy, and they're constantly at odds with you that you've not got it and you're being shamed for it. So if you're in such a situation, the lesson for you is very clear. Why are you in this relationship?
Yeah, because frequentially when you're in 5D, your peace becomes paramount. And if you're living in such a chaotic environment where there's so much dissonance between different family members, then there is going to be a point where you are going to have to make a choice, and we cannot sugarcoat that for you. you're going.
You either make a choice or you regress, because your soul, your higher self, is not going to merge with you if you're living in this stress box, in this cooker, in this pressure cooker. The basic tenet, like the basic, like my higher self could only come in and start merging with me when I had a sense of peace and calm, and somewhat had gotten rid of all my density, my old programs, my religious conditioning, my societal conditioning, what others thought of me, wanting love from others. It's only when you raise your vibration to a certain point and drop all these programmings and triggers and conditionings and have somewhat of a peaceful energy in your life that you can start accessing 5D and become a vibrational match for your higher self to even merge with you.
5D is all about harmony and living in consciousness, living consciously with your choices. And this is a spiritual warfare that highlights the choice that humanity has to make in order to ascend. We're going through a galactic initiation, and what this really boils down to is information. The people in power, they're trying their utmost best to hold back information from us so we make the wrong choices. And one of the questions we asked is, why is this being allowed right now, right? Like, how could, if our guides are so benevolent, if the Galactics are here to help us, then why aren't they stopping this genocide? We don't know what the numbers could look like, but it is like people are dying from this too. So the answer was that basically whatever is allowed on planet Earth to exist has to be chosen by humanity. Nobody else can create what's allowed. And humanity, we're still in the level of consciousness where we're lining up to get the jab. So if we've all seen the pictures in the news where there's like football stadiums of lining.
Oh my God, there's parties.
Of lines.
A lady threw a prom party by taking all her friends, and she threw a prom party,
because
jab prom party.
all of these are based on lies and deceptions.
Yes.
Because the lie that's being fed to the masses right now is that once you get this, the next step is your freedom. But we all know that that's not going to happen. So the next step is, okay, once you get this, you start like literally seeing your uteral lining shed in your hands. So if that's not a warning sign, what is? I mean, come on, people.
We don't want to put the picture here.
We need to wake up.
Yes, we don't want to put the picture here, but one of the girls who came to our retreat is a nurse, and she actually sent me a WhatsApp picture. I literally sent her a message saying, are the hospitals full of like COVID patients? Like, what the hell's going on? Because there's no, like, what's going on? And she says, well, not really. There's no COVID patients, but there's a lot of people who are reporting this excessive bleeding. And she sent me a picture, which I don't want to put up because I don't like seeing such pictures. But it was actually a picture of a lady's entire uterine wall that had just shed.
We'll do you a favor and post that.
Yeah, so it's just like stuff is happening. So it's very important to look at this from a spiritual perspective. So let's say you're in a relationship where you're extremely happy, you think you're with your soulmate, and they've decided to take this injection. Then it really, it all comes down to, again, soul contract. So if you think you have a soul contract with this person, this is what the guide said. What would you do if you're madly in love with your husband or your wife and they had a, what's that word?
Like a contagious virus.
Disease. What would you do? You would isolate them from you, because it's not so much about morals and judgment or separation, but you would separate yourself from that person. It's about your health. And they would do the same if they were in your case. So what the guides are saying is that light workers, every light worker, you guys know what this means for you. If you're in a situation where you start seeing the first signs of any excessive, bleeding or anything severe that you can see, oh my God, this has been happening since this person took this injection, or for the last few weeks, I wonder if it's connected. Do whatever you need to do. No one's going to give you the answer. Your guides are not going to just clearly give you the answer, or they may if it's in your highest good. I don't know your relationship with your guides, only you know of. But start taking control of your life and do what you would do if someone had a life-threatening, like a contagious disease. So this is something super spontaneous that I want to share in this video, but it is so important. A few days ago, our guides said to us something so simple yet so profound. They said, in every aspect of your life, every aspect, Notice in which aspect of your life you're waiting for something to happen. Are you waiting for new earth? Are you waiting to meet your soul family? Are you waiting for you to be able to travel again? This was something I was doing, because right now travel is locked, and I love traveling. I love going to Thailand and Bali and like going all over the place. You know what I mean? I want to travel. So, and many of you, I mean, are in lockdown, so you can't, so you know all of this. So I kept thinking, when is travel going to come back? And the message was for me. The guide said, EldoRa, don't get caught in that loop of waiting for anything. The only question is, and that's how my guides, I feel like our guides really give us higher 5D, 6D codes, because it cuts through all the bullshit. They're like, what can you do right now in your life to move forward? Can you take care of your health? Can you practice better boundaries? Can you practice better empathy? Can you practice better unconditional love? Can you let go of some of your, can you heal some of your traumas? Can you let go of some of your triggers? Can you take care of some of your childhood wounds? Can you do a course? Can you, if you have body pain, can you maybe fix that pain? Because pain is always pay attention inward now, PAIN. So what is this pain trying to tell you? What courses can you launch? Are you a healer? Have you always wanted to be a healer? What course are you taking? Are you a healer? Like, okay, so how can you move your offering online? Because the mass awakening is going to happen, and hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people are going to want healing services. So get your websites ready. It's all about that right now. It's not about, oh, tomorrow, one day. The world may never be the same again.
The world will never be the same again. And our guides are telling us, instead of waiting, start creating.
Yes.
Start creating new earth with every single option that's available to you. Whatever ignites your fire, whatever lights your passion, start planning to offer that in a way that is sustainable for you. And also with all this news of like the economy crashing and everything going haywire and gas shortages and whatnot.
You can cover that next lecture.
Yeah, we'll go into a bit of that, but basically all hell will break loose on planet Earth, to be very honest. Like, we are going through an ascension, and ascension really means facing all of our shadows. And about 80% of humanity is completely in the dark. They're in 3D. So they're going to have to go through all the fear. They're going to have to go through all the revelations and anger. And what we have to do is, right now, the light workers, our strength is our centeredness. So when we're just focusing on how are we going to prepare for this future, when there's think of it like a whole huge market is opening up for your services. How can you help humanity? When you want to create a business, the 5D approach to creating the business is not how can I maximize my profits. That's the 3D approach. The 5D approach to creating your business is how can I solve a problem?
How can I be of service?
How can I be of service?
How can I help someone?
And when you genuinely start seeking to solve a problem for the greater good, you instantly become marketable. So
because then you have divine backing.
And it's not necessarily
it's all about
always
intention.
about solving a problem. You could be a painter and your art could be activating people.
Yes.
You could be downloading 5D codes.
You can do Reiki art,
you could be
guys.
a musician, you could be a DJ, and you could be putting healing codes like I do into the music.
Yes.
You could be a healer and you could be helping so many people. You could just have gone through a divorce. You could just have gone through a divorce. You have no other experience. I've seen people start online courses to help others cope with divorce because they've gone through it.
Because guess what? The best way you can channel your pain, this is a huge teaching in itself, and it's actually helped us through many hard times. The best way to channel pain, how do you do? Do you go deeper into the pain? Or what we do is we channel our pain. And I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
When I go through pain, I spend a day feeling the pain. And the next day, I'm like, all right, I'm going to channel this pain into something beautiful. Because this energy is creative energy. You can channel pain, which is why a lot of artists, some of the highest priced, I think it's raining. Some of the highest
was
priced
one of these examples.
art.
Van Gogh was actually a Pleiadian being. And his paintings now sell for millions and millions of dollars. But when he was creating those paintings, he was absolutely poor. He was starving, and he was a mental patient. So he was suffering so much that he actually cut off one of his ears. So he was going through so much pain and suffering that this pain and suffering came out as creative energy, and he channeled this as chaotic strokes into his brush strokes.
And some artists actually channel expressions of extreme sadness, which somehow doesn't relate to me. I don't want sad energy in my paintings. But these are the paintings that go for the highest ticket value, is what we've seen.
You can transmute. You can become an
channel.
Alchemist.
Yes.
You can transmute pain, whatever
into
you've gone
art.
through. Some of the most successful, some of the most well-known people in the wellness industry are the ones who've gone through some of the deepest hardships in lives, and they've overcome all of their suffering and become alchemists. They've alchemized their pain and suffering into knowledge, into peace, and they're sharing this love with humanity.
You know, I have to say that this is something that I heard just this morning. You know, the retreat that we just held, I am so amazed, because this is not something we were expecting. The group has already met, I think once or twice or maybe 3 times. They fly to each other. There's also a group, a full group trip coming up in June for the summer solstice. We may join them. We are not sure yet. We're planning on joining them, and when we see people who are serious in their spiritual path, then we get interested. So when we see these guys traveling together to meditate and raise their frequency, instantly we tune in and say, like, if we can go there and, you know, maybe do some activations or whatnot, why not? Let's do it, because we love people who are serious on their path. And just yesterday I got a message, or today I got a message from one of them saying, like, they're always meeting, they were all just in Sedona. They went to Sedona, they went to the Tachyon Chamber, and one of the Tachyon Chambers came highly recommended.
Oh, I wanted to quickly interject and say we created a new Telegram group called Soul Family. We'll put a link here. So people are connecting like crazy.
Yes, guys, you can actually
everyone's
find
meeting
it
in their cities.
It's the Telegram group is Soul Family ENS.
We'll put the link here as well.
So people are connecting, saying who lives in this country, who lives in Cape Town, who lives in there.
Yeah.
And guys, real quick, I just want to say, let's not make a separate video about it, but it's super quick. Use discernment. Just because they're all part of our Soul Family Telegram group, does not make them Christ consciousness beings.
There might be poachers, wolves in sheep's clothing.
Sexual poachers or money poachers, energy poachers. You guys have to go through your initiations. We've been through these initiations in Toronto. You guys have to go through the initiations of discerning between frequencies that are pure and frequencies that are tainted. This is huge. Don't just say, come to my house, let's have an affair. Like, oh, let me give you some money, or no, check people's energy out.
I've seen very well-meaning light workers being scammed by people, and their life savings being taken by others.
I've seen huge sexual.
And also a reminder that this whole ascension is about discernment.
Yes.
This whole ascension is about humanity waking up from being children to being conscious adults, so that we can learn how to make the right choices. And discernment is the key foundation of this entire ascension.
And it's part of your curriculum, you guys.
It's part of our curriculum, and right now, that is why this war of information is taking place on Earth right now, because there's so much unknown, there's so many variables, and each one of us is being held accountable for their own decisions, for arming ourselves with the right knowledge, with the right resources, so we know what's good for us and what's bad for us. It's no longer good enough for you to say, well, my brother did it, my dad did it, so I'm going to do it too. You all have to arm yourself with knowledge, information, and power, because the ones in power, that's the only way they're keeping their grip of control on humanity. The day that all of us start speaking up, if you believe something, say it. If you believe something, broadcast it, because this frequency needs to be heard by everyone on the planet right now. And that is the one thing that can tip the scale of this ascension. When you start sharing your truth, when you start broadcasting your truth, the time has gone for us to stay small, for us to just like learn something and then, just tuck it away inside and pretend we're like 3D sheep. I'm not saying sheep in any derogatory manner. I'm just saying this as a way of educating people that we are no longer playing small. We are no longer allowed to play small. We have to share freely. We have to stand up for what we believe in, even if that means that you're going to be clashing against people that are very close to you.
Yes,
it
so
just
what?
Means that
be okay with clashing with people. Be okay with the whole world
thinking
thinking you're a nut
job. It just means
job.
that you're putting it off to another day.
You weak? Okay, this is how I look at it.
Eventually it's going to come.
Someone who wants to make all their posts private just because they don't want someone to think they're a nut job or their family to think they're woo-woo is actually not in their power. They're weak. Their family is more powerful than them right now. So it's very important. These are the lessons our guides want us to look at now.
You cannot ascend unless you stand for the truth. And when you stand for the truth, you let everything break and fall apart and let the chips land where they may.
Yes.
Because eventually you're just putting it off to another day. If you're not doing it today, you're going to have to do it day after tomorrow.
Yes.
But you cannot live in a state of untruth because it's going to make you sick.
It's gonna rip your soul apart. It's gonna fragment your soul. It's like and this is all, it's all lodging in cells like trauma. So if your soul is unhappy and you know you're unhappy at a soul level, snap out of it.
And
I set an intention for that to literally snap you out of it.
Exactly. And this is also bringing us to the last point that
there's a few more points. You have to cover the economic crash being engineered. We have to cover the injection to travel passports and the UFO sightings and is the GFL going to assist?
I was going to go quickly into that. If is the GFL going to assist humanity? It's like no, because right now humanity is going to assist humanity. That's what the whole ascension is about. The GFL is there to send us energy upgrades and to witness what's happening, and also they're kind of a police task force to make sure that negative ET races are not allowed to interfere where humanity's free will gets trampled upon. So the GFL is just holding space in this container, but what happens inside the fishbowl, inside the fish tank, is completely up to us. So
that being said, if there's a majority of people saying we will not stand for this, then we become a vibrational match for GFL to step in.
That's exactly how it is. Basically, right now, speaking our truth is of the utmost importance for this entire ascension. This is how important it is.
Speaking your truth, broadcasting your truth, relaying your truth, not in a judgmental or silly or like this judgmental way saying, oh, God won't approve of you if you do this. That's so silly to speak like that. If that's how you speak, don't be a truther yet. You're not ready. But learn, start practicing how to say stuff. Like start practicing how to present the truth in a way that is sacred to you, that is not polarized, that is still based on unconditional love, and it's not disrespectful. And if someone has a problem with you speaking your truth and just what you believe in from just an educational perspective or just sharing your perspective, that person's not meant to hold you down. So let them go from your life. Instead of saying, no, I won't make such posts because I want this person who judges me to be in my life. This is what this whole time is about. The separation of the wheat from the chaff literally means, who are you allowing in your life? If you continue allowing people who judge you, who, like, you know what I mean? If you continue allowing such people in your space, how are you going to get to the next step where you can actually speak to those who get you, who are at the same frequency, who get you? So this is what this time is all about. This time is precious. Use it wisely.
And also to answer, is the GFL going to assist humanity? They're reminding us that we, the light workers, are the representatives of the GFL that have incarnated in the millions. There's millions upon millions of us on planet Earth right now. And we are here in human bodies because we're not allowed to interfere from the outside. Even the dark ones are not allowed to interfere. No, keep that. That was good.
Really? No, I like it more dark. It's so bright.
Just move it back a bit.
Fine. There, I'm going to put it on your face. On your head.
Can you see me? All my pimples.
Oh, ascension symptoms.
Yes. So basically, we are the representatives of the GFL. We are the galactics here on Earth. And it's up to us to start creating new Earth in any small way possible. And also the Cabal are not allowed to interfere directly in human affairs. They also need human proxies which they can control and manipulate to play out their agenda. So both sides are kind of like operating from the outside, but only humans are allowed to play in this game. So,
and that's very deep. So yeah, take what you can from it. That's a very deep. That's how it is. That's how the universe operates. The Pleiadians and the Arcturians, they can only help from a distance. They can only help. They can only offer the help that you're a vibrational match to accepting.
Yeah.
They cannot trample on your free will. And this is actually coming in right now, guys. It's a reminder. It's not that they cannot trample on your free will, but they love you way too much to trample on your free will.
Exactly.
They love you way too much. They love humanity way too much to trample on humanity's free will and tell people, oh guys, this is dangerous for you, this is not, this is safe for you, and take away that precious learning curve, that evolutionary curve from humanity. They would never do that out of their unconditional love, because then guess what? In this soul's evolution of, let's say, anybody, that soul has lost the chance to wake up, because they have been forced to wake up by a trampling of their free will. So this is how multi-dimensional this whole operation is. And it's very delicate.
And also, no matter how complex all the questions and all the challenges we're facing on Earth right now, the jab passports and the disposing of, and all of these things that are happening on planet Earth, these are all our trials. And if we don't figure this out on our own right now, then in the future, we're going to repeat all of these mistakes. So the Galactics want to make sure we get this lesson once and for all, so we don't repeat all of these mistakes in the past, in the future, that we give our power away to people and we don't use our discernment, and we let others run the show for us while we're just like sleeping at the wheel. And this time we just have to wake up and become adults. We just have to get it on our own.
Here, have some water. Okay. What else? Economic crash.
So, since we were speaking about the GFL, I also wanted to get into this UFO
you love
sightings.
GFO, don't you?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite topics. UFO sightings have also been on the rise, and many light workers are getting excited, like, yay, this is disclosure, but unfortunately, not yet.
It's not time for disclosure yet, is what we're being shown.
Because the way this is being engineered into mainstream media is being released for a negative agenda, and the negative agenda is what a lot of us have been expecting of fake alien invasion, and that is primarily being done as a hoax, or to draw your attention away from the main issue, which is the power struggle that's taking place on planet Earth. And currently there's an audit taking place in the United States about the election results, so there's a lot of heat around that because they don't want people to know about the truth. So they're drawing attention away from the audit by creating this hoax of alien sightings, and I think the plan is for them to initially roll out, yes, we're not alone, and eventually say, oh my God, they're hostile and they want to do this Independence Day kind of takeover. So
it sounds so ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculous,
but
apparently they've had this in the plans for years and decades.
That's how they work. Everything that's going on is part of like a many hundreds-year plan. It's not like they just decided today, oh, we're going to do this. I'm talking about the
cue ball.
Let's play some ball. I'm talking about them. They've planned this and they're following the script from hundreds and hundreds of years, which is why the royal family was put in place. These celebrities were put in place. Like Lady Gaga just doesn't become Lady Gaga. Like she's been put in place. So genetically, these people are coming in.
They're from certain bloodlines.
Certain bloodlines, exactly. So everything's part of what they're thinking. But this is the way I look at this, it's almost comical. They're going to fall flat on their faces with all of this.
Yeah, right now, one thing that's not playing in their favor is that too many people are waking up and too many people are wise to their plans, which is why this fake alien hoax, we don't think it's going to pan out, because not all of the cue ball members' heads are aligned on this fully, and it's being rolled out in kind of like a half-assed way.
Like all their plans.
And many people are already aware, so it's like we're just waiting for that cartoon show to play out and see what happens. One of the themes that came up when we asked people what is the most burning question you want answered is that people are frustrated right now. They're not making progress, they're not able to move forward. So in this time, in this challenging economy, we have to learn how to connect and offer solutions online. So like we mentioned, get your creative hats on and see how you can channel your frustration into creative energy and see how you can offer a solution for a burning problem that humanity has.
And guys, we also asked our guides a question about what can we do to prepare for this economic crash, if there is going to be one. Because remember, sometimes they want you to think there's going to be gas shortage. They release pictures of people hoarding gas, which is why I put something in Telegram and then I deleted it, because some people I saw going into polarity. As soon as I put that picture, people were like, oh my God, why do they do that? And it's so pathetic that they line up for this. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, no, delete. Because polarization is not what this is about. It's about seeing and keeping in the back of your mind, okay, this is going on, but how do you know these pictures have not been released? Everything right now has to be questioned. Even our channel, when you listen to our channel, tune into your heart. Everything we're saying is not like, you don't have to accept it like a religion. You need to resonate with it. That's what guidance is. You'll see what you resonate with.
Take what resonates and discard the rest.
And that's what we do. We don't, even with our guides, like sometimes our guides will say something to us. I don't just follow everything as guidance. I'll say, okay, I'm the master.
Marinate.
Yeah, I don't just follow my guides like I'm a little puppet.
Yeah.
I say, all right, guides, I'm getting this, but you know what? I don't see this yet. We'll see. That being said, I have a very good relationship of trust with my guides, because they have helped me navigate situations that my human mind cannot possibly comprehend. And I don't know anyone, I personally don't know anyone who's actually navigated such profound situations just based on guidance. So I trust my guidance, but I won't just be a puppet even to my guides, even to Metatron. That is what mastery is. You're a master.
Yeah.
You're just getting guidance. That doesn't mean you have to follow everything, but at the same time, tune into the vibration. Most of the things that Metatron, like I remember there was a time when he was going through intense Metatronic training, where Metatron wanted him to wake up every single morning at 3 a.m. Remember that time in Toronto?
So this was also a lesson in discernment for me, that every night I was being woken up at 3 a.m. and I was going through these intense like meditations and whatnot, and I was connecting with Metatronic frequencies and getting all these upgrades. But it started taking a negative toll on me because I was not able to sleep in the morning, in the daytime. I was just like feeling exhausted and fatigued. And I asked Metatron, like, can we turn the intensity down? He said, that's the very reason I wanted you to ask this question, because the very reason I've been going hard on you is to show you that even with myself, even with Archangel Metatron, if you don't ask me to go easy on you or go on your terms, then I'm going to do as I please with you.
They want you to be a master.
Exactly. So they were teaching us, the angels were teaching us, that if we don't take the wheels and we are the ones deciding what's given to us, so when these ascension energies get too intense for you, you have the right to ask your guides and your angels to
lower the intensity.
Lower the intensity. You don't always have to do even as they ask of you.
Yes, and
You're
they
the
work
master.
with you. They don't feel bad. They don't say, oh, she's not listening.
They actually respect you.
They respect
as a
you
master.
more. Oh my God, they respect you more.
So yeah, touching lightly about the jab passports. The reports that we've been seeing is that Russia is like playing against it, and for this scheme to work on a worldwide basis, all the countries have to agree to it. So we already see some dissonance in many countries.
I don't see it. I personally don't see it rolling out.
We see this as another desperate attempt of the cue ball.
It's all fear tactics.
To control
because they're
us.
taking away your basic instinct. What is your basic survival instinct? You want to travel. They're taking away your basic freedoms. And what they're doing is they're not taking it away. They're just scaring you. And really this comes down to, when push comes to shove, are you just going to go and take the jab to be able to travel? Or are you going to say no? And that's another thing, guys. Right now, if you have a chance to leave your country, let's say you're not resonating, you live in whatever, and you're not resonating with your big city. What's keeping you there? There is a chance that you're meant to move right now. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but start tuning into and say and affirm to your guides. Say, start showing me guides, start showing me what I need to do. I am aligned. I align my will to divine will. Every day affirm that. I align my will to divine will. Higher self, show me what is in my highest alignment. Show me my highest timeline. Now, they will show it to you, but you have to act on it. They will show it to you once. Guidance won't. Okay, this is another thing. Guidance doesn't come like a big dramatic entrance. Guidance comes in like a whisper. So they'll
It's
show
just a
you,
suggestion.
they'll show you, but they won't say, they're not like humans, like, okay, you have to do this now because we've given you guidance. They'll show you, but you have to act on it.
Guides were also saying that one thing that we can tell you with surety is that when you raise your vibration, there's going to come a point where you're going to go out of vibration if you're living in a dense, chaotic city environment. Because these city grids are just too 3D matrix. There's too many lower frequencies. There's actually you're always surrounded by EMF, you're surrounded by Wi-Fi in these city cores. And the way it happened with us is that even us, we felt suffocated in Toronto to the point where we were literally going to the park for like an hour a day.
Guys, we literally had like a 20 feet by 20 feet area under one tree in one park that allowed people during these times to go with their mattress and lie down. And we, not mattress, but we actually had a mattress. And that was the only place in Toronto where we felt peace. And we would go every single day. Oh, this is another message I have to share with you guys. My guides are reminding me right now. So we used to go to this place every single day in Newmarket. It's this park called Fairy Park, which we loved. We would take our mattress, like the single mattress, we would take a blanket, we'd take some books, and we go there every single day with two pillows. We'd lie there and meditate and we'd breathe. And our guides found it so adorable, and they said to us with so much love, they said, you guys don't even know what is in store for you.
Yeah.
And when guides say that, that's all they say. They don't tell you more, they don't tell you when. This was as early as August, you guys, as late as August of last year. As late as August, we lived in a townhome, a 3-bedroom townhome in a very dense neighborhood, no trees. And we would go every single day. We would even order takeout and eat there.
We would order made videos from there, so you guys know.
Remember that park, you guys, with the children playing in the back? And we had this one spot. And you know what the guides are saying? Okay, so all of this happened, right? And they would say, you guys don't know when you'll be exported or whatever. When your magic reality will just change. August is when we had our car crash, which we made a video about. We had a car crash. And as soon as the car got crashed, there was 4 more years of that lease left. It was a bigger SUV, so it was a bigger amount. Imagine what would have happened without that crash. We'd be stressed like, oh my God, how are we paying for a 4-year lease, this brand new SUV? As soon as the car crash happened, we got the message, this is a portal. This is a portal to a higher dimension, a higher timeline.
Yeah.
And we celebrated, and 1 month later, on September 6th, we took the very first flight, because we were guided, very first flight that operated from Toronto to Costa Rica. And that's it. Within a few weeks of coming here, we got guidance that this is it.
And the moment
we sold
it landed,
our Toronto
it was
home.
11/11.
Yes, we landed at 11/11 in Costa Rican soil. 11/11 is when the flight attendant even said, "Oh my God, it's 11/11." And on our entire, we have to make another event, a video called The Event, because we went through an event which we haven't even spoken about.
It felt like the event. It literally felt like we were being extracted from old Earth, and we were being placed into new Earth.
Yes.
And we're being shown that this is the process that's going to happen to many people.
Yes.
You're literally going to see a point in your life where you're going to leave your old surroundings and come to a completely new surrounding in harmony with nature.
And you can't imagine it right now.
Yeah, and it also has to be chosen by you. It's not going to be thrust upon you. You have to take the action, because it takes a lot of courage to simply leave your surroundings, leave your friends, leave your neighbors, leave your family behind, and go to a new place.
And not knowing, oh my God, is Costa Rica safe? How will I live there? How will I make money there? That's the process.
We also see a mass migration happening.
Yes.
And it's actually the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. The eagle represents the United States, and the condor represents the southern Americas. And there's a prophecy that says there has to be a mass migration that happens during this ascension, where people from the north, like Canada, US, move south, and people from the south move up. And this has to happen for this whole continent to harmonize, because the Central Americans are the ones who are more in touch with their shamanic indigenous ways, and they're going to bring this knowledge and wisdom back into the United States.
Beautiful.
And the people from the United States and Canada are moving down and learning how to be in harmony with nature.
So beautiful. The natural cycles of evolution.
Yeah.
I love that. So there's one thing that we wanted to add about, when we said to our guides, we were just joking. We said, okay, how do we plan for an economic crash? And that's what they said, that so if you Google how to plan for an economic crash, I haven't Googled it, but I'm assuming they would say, stock up on food. They would say in 4D, the fourth dimensional teachers or the fourth dimensional wisdom will say, stock up on food, stock up on gas. It's all fear. Stock up on everything, maybe get a gun. What else would it say?
Water,
withdraw some money,
supplies,
get
cash.
some medical supplies, cash. That's what our guides are saying. In 5D and above, that's exactly what we think you shouldn't do. I mean, that's not how they said it, but it's what you shouldn't do, because you're buying into this narrative that there is going to be. The point is, we are so guided. That was the message. You're guided. So don't go into a fear frenzy of, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh my God, I haven't got gas. Because we don't even know if a gas shortage even exists. We don't know if these passports will ever be rolled out to travel. We don't believe so, because it's completely against the plan. When I look at it energetically, it's not fitting somehow. At least I haven't received anything so far that indicates a passport. And even if it is, it'll be taken down in no time. But really look at everything from this perspective of, I'm in full surrender. That's when your root chakra healing is happening. I'm in surrender. I'm guided every step of the way. And if I need to stock up on anything, or if I need to do something, I will be guided. That takes a lot of surrender, you guys. And that is the way. That is the way, at least that works for us. To really, really know you're supported, you're taken care of. And you are here with divine assistance. You're here with divine protection. You're on God's payroll. You're working for the office of Christ. That's how we feel.
And also, nothing happens by random. You are going to be placed exactly where you need to be placed for this ascension to unfold. So also trust your wisdom, trust your higher self. If I suddenly end up going to a dentist tomorrow, I didn't go by chance. I was meant to go there. And it could be that I needed to receive something there. So everything is part of a plan. Even our small movements are being planned. So let alone your permanent location, there's a grand plan for all of us. So no need to go into fear. We're all protected, like EldoRa reminded us.
Yes. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We have this beautiful apartment. You can see the sunset.
Today there's no sunset. Usually the sun is like
I think
orange.
we would have seen the sunset.
No, today there
already
isn't much.
gone, right?
Usually it's orange. I'll put up another video on that. So join our Telegram channel. We love you guys. Low power. Oh my God. Okay, we love you guys. It's so amazing making this video. Comment on the YouTube channel. I know you guys comment all over the place, but YouTube is where we read the comments. All of you guys are the Vibe Patrol. Remember that. All of you, especially those who stay till the end, you guys are soul family. You guys are here. We're here in it together. You're all Vibe Patrol. So if ever you guys are okay being administrators of the Telegram group, let us know. Because if you see anyone that is rude or disrespectful,
or just creating negativity for no reason.
We have one rule: they're removed from the Telegram group. Because listen, the way we look at it is our teachings are our service. So they can watch our teachings on YouTube, but our Telegram group is very personal. It's tight. It's a tight-knit group. So no disrespect, no mocking, no sarcasm is welcome there. So my service is, I'm saying, hey, you can still go and watch my videos for free on YouTube, but you're not welcome in my tight-knit community if you're disrespectful. So if any of you guys want to sign up as admins, I know many of you would love it. Just comment on Telegram saying, hey, I'd love to be an admin, and we'll just randomly give you some of you that status. I love you guys. Comment on the YouTube video. Let us know how this helped. Let us know which parts of this video really set off light bulbs. That's what we enjoy hearing.
And
we
also
enjoy that
what
co-creation.
Are the burning questions you have, and we love hearing from all the people who are just newly joining our soul family, and let us know what your awakening experiences are like and how we can assist you, what topics can assist you the most.
Well, on Telegram, we got so many. We asked this question, we got like 400 responses.
Yeah.
We have a lovely assistant now who's actually put together about 30 questions in a shared drive with us.
Yeah.
So we'll make another Q&A video. But we wanted to get this out of the way right away. You want to go out for dinner?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I feel like going out today.
Yes.
All right, guys. We love you so much. Take care.
Take
Bye.
care, guys.